What is happening, boys and girls? Jim here. You know the channel name. Boy, oh boy, it is December 4th, 2022, and it has been a long time, a very long time since I've done any videos. At least 2 months, maybe 3 months since I've done a video. I apologize. We've been extremely busy up here. We just got some fresh snow the other day, yesterday, and I've got my ascender out here right now. It's been acclimating for the last hour or so, sitting inside a plastic sled. Yellow K10 ascender. We have some Traxxas TRX4 Sport Tracks 1.9 Canyon Trails on here, custom cut, plastic wheels, and those are the TRX4 Sport Tracks wheels and tires. Vehicle's acclimating in the plastic sled. Reason for putting it inside a plastic sled, or reason for acclimating your vehicle, period, before playing in the snow, whether it's got tires or tracks, purpose for acclimating it is cooling down the vehicle's temperature so it matches the outdoor temperature. That way the snow and whatnot doesn't stick to your tires or freeze to your tires. Reason for putting it inside a plastic sled while you're acclimating. You could use a plastic sled. You could set it on a garbage bag. You could put it inside a cardboard box. I like putting it on a plastic sled. It's a nice little barrier. Cardboard box works good. You can put a lid over top of it nice and easily to keep the snow off if it's snowing outside at the time. Reason for doing this is when you bring your vehicle outside from the inside, it's nice and warm on the inside. When you bring it outside, your warm tires have a tendency of melting the snow. And then while the vehicle is sitting out there cooling down and acclimating to the temperature, that snow ends up refreezing to your tires. And then you end up with a frozen snowy spot on your tires and or tracks, whatever you happen to be using. So if you put it inside a plastic sled or inside a cardboard box or on a piece of plastic, it puts a barrier between your tires and the snow and eliminates that frost buildup on your tires. So there we go. Long story. Vehicle's acclimating in a plastic sled. Take a peek out at the adventure course real quick. That's where we're going to head. Just go out here and goof around for a minute. Been a long time since I did any videos or even driven the RC cars. Last time I drove them was with my friend Matt Yono. And that was on video up here. And we haven't been out to the adventure course since. I was out here just before the snowfall and blew all the leaves off the course, which was a couple-hour job. There's so many leaves, I had to blow them out into the aisleways on either side here and then push them off to the side with the tractor. It was just a huge amount of leaves. They all fell at the same time. So the track is all snow covered. Over under bridges, the over under brick bridge down there, teeter totter. First over under log bridge, and our other over under rock bridge and log bridge hiding up behind those leaves over there on that tree. Yeah, everything's snow covered. So this is going to be an interesting little run. My apologies for not getting any videos out. We'll take a quick minute to walk around if nobody minds and see some of the stuff that we've been up to. It's been a real busy summer this year. And fall, I should say. Building a new pole barn and trying to convert our old pole barn, the original pole barn, into a RC workshop slash studio area. And many thanks to my parents for allowing me to do this. This building is very old. Not too sure how old it is, the exact age. I'm guessing 90 to 100 years, somewhere in that area, maybe older. It's been moved 3 or 4 times. This is like the 3rd or 4th location for it. Last location was down the road at one of my neighbor's houses where it sat there for a few years, but we've had it for 30 years. And at one point in time, it was sitting in Southfield, Michigan, which is roughly 3.5 to 4 hours away, as part of a machine shop outbuilding. It was there for years and years and years. So very old building. It's been torn apart and put together several times. When we moved it up here from my neighbor's house, we cut it into several sections with a chainsaw, loaded it up on a trailer, hauled it up here, and reassembled it. Not too many straight angles on this building. That's the moral of the story. Looking down the side, we can see some little bows here and there. So a lot of maintenance on the building, or upkeep, or whatever, just trying to fix it up and make it a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more stable for the long run, fixing holes in the roof and fixing holes on the sides and reattaching siding and putting in expanding foam, mouse-proof foam, insect-proof foam to block up huge gaps, putting in custom boards to block other gaps to keep the critters out, trim boards like this. You see the foam sticking out in certain areas. There's steel wool up in certain areas to keep mice from crawling in and out. And then there was just a lot of other custom things that we had to do since there was no straight angles pretty much on the inside of the building. Every little piece of wood or whatever that we had to put in place, or drywall that we put in place, all had to be custom cut. So everything was a one-off on the inside of here. Before we open the door and take a look at the inside of the barn as it sits currently, let's take a look at how it used to look. Plans change like crazy around here. We need more garage space, hence the little tent shelter and carport over yonder there. And our barn is getting mighty cluttered. And here, the existing barn, rocks for the course. Another little carport shelter here. We've got a old refrigerated trailer here that we use for storage as well. And we cleared out a bunch of trees in this area last summer, last fall, in hopes of building a studio right back here. But then the barn kind of trumped that whole plan, that whole process. And so we're building a new barn over on the other side once again. And then we can take the old barn here and convert it into a studio once again. Get the majority of the tools and equipment out of here, welders and air compressors and things of that nature. And strip down the floor, take the gravel, dig out the gravel that's in the floor, and put in some concrete. Get a lot of the tools and stuff out of here. Probably leave the workbench and the grinder and the vise and all that stuff in here. But add some insulation, some drywall. Maybe build an indoor crawler course for the 124 scale vehicles along the walls. We'll see. As well as a man cave area towards the back so you can hang out and relax and chill. So there we go. There's a quick peek at the inside of the barn. Sorry for the poor lighting in here. I could key on some more lights and brighten things up a little bit. That way we can see what we're doing, see what we're looking at a little bit better. Yeah, a lot of stuff in here, a lot of clutter. And all this stuff needs to get out of here. And we can turn it into a studio. So yeah, very cluttered in the past, just chock full of stuff. So that's another thing that was holding us back, was trying to get all that stuff emptied out of this barn, moved into the new barn way over on the other side of the house there, and rebuild shelves and things of that nature in the other barn to hold all that stuff. All right, so let's crack open the door and see what she looks like on the inside. Excuse the extreme close-ups. We left the barn door intact. I wanted to do that. Just to use it as a blast shield. So we built a wall right here and filled in that gap. Used a door wall, part of a door wall panel there for a window. Put in an actual steel insulated door. I've got it open right now with a little panel in the way to keep critters from getting in there. For years, this barn was never heated. It always had a gravel floor, absolutely no insulation on the inside, open eaves on either side underneath the roof, so you'd feel every little bit of wind on the inside of there. So we had to seal off the eaves and then custom drill soffits all the way down the sides. And then I had to install stainless steel window screen and stainless steel hardware cloth over top of all the holes that I drilled in the soffits, so the critters can't get in there, just to improve our ventilation and prevent any animals from getting in there. We put in a concrete floor. We insulated the heck out of the building. It was never heated in the past. And now we've got a fireplace on the inside. I'm going to close this door. Close the blast shield. So still under construction on the inside here. I can latch the door down as well and lock this thing into place so it can't move. Little mouse shield, critter shield to keep the animals from climbing in here when we're not paying attention. So building was never heated before. We just added a wood burning stove to it. 1979 Vermont Resolute fireplace it was used. So, you know, no money out of pocket really for that. More money for chimney pieces. That stuff is expensive. But doing the drywall and everything else in here has been a real task. And filling in gaps and putting in these custom walls. My Uncle Hans helped out with a lot of this stuff. Nothing is quite straight. Some of these angles just aren't straight, so we had to put in custom pieces to even things out. The original 6x6 beam on the bottom where you drive the vehicles in and out of was cut on a concave, so it was easier to pull snowmobiles in and out of here without the skis snagging up on stuff. So we had to compensate for that angle, or compensate for that angle as we were putting this wall in place. And you can see that in certain areas it's lower on this side than it is on this side. Other things are a little bit goofy in here. The window is not quite center up in there. See that gap in the upper right hand corner, and about 1.5 inch or inch gap between the corner of the window and the ceiling. And over on the opposite side, it pretty much meets it flush. So when you're putting in this drywall and everything else, a lot of custom cutting. 7-foot ceilings in here. This was a, we did have rafters in here before, but we wanted to insulate everything off so we didn't have any ice damming in between this half of the barn and the lean-to that's on the other side. So having the wood burner stove in here, we were worried about the snow melting off the roof and having ice damming along that edge. So we insulated the heck out of the side. I mean, it is super insulated along here. So the snow pretty much stays on the roof during the course of the winter and is not affected in any way, shape, or form by the heat on the inside of the building. And once again, yeah, we had to have this drywall up and down a few times. And yeah, nothing is right. Nothing is straight. Custom trusses or rafters in the ceiling. Those are hand cut from some of the wood up here. And some of them aren't the same width. And you can see that right there where that box around the chimney is higher on one side than it is on the other. And that is because the rafters are at different heights. So the drywall is going on a slight angle. Yeah, I shouldn't be showing you guys all the imperfections in here. But this is some of the stuff that's holding us back on the construction. Differences. We got this big beam going across between this wall on the upper half, and there's no beam over on the other side. It's just drywall straight up. So things are a little bit different. 7-foot ceiling, so all the 8-foot panels of drywall had to be cut down. And nothing straight once again through here. So one end of the drywall might be 7 feet right on, and then the other side of it might be 7 feet 3 inches. So nothing was quite straight. We had to, every piece of drywall had to be custom cut and trimmed all the way along through everything. We had all the drywall up and mudded at one point in time, and then we had to take it all down on the ceiling because we discovered a little moisture issue. So we had to pull all the drywall back down and then put it back up again. So once again, more things that are costing us time. And we're doing this stuff on the weekends, and it's just myself and my brother for the most part, and neither one of us have ever done any kind of carpentry. So yeah, more time. So my apologies for not getting any videos out as of late. We're in the process of turning this old barn into a RC workshop / studio. Once again, we used to have a big wide door back here where we could ride snowmobiles in right through the building. Change that out to a regular exterior door, steel insulated. We're getting some sun and shadowing going on over here. I apologize for that. This is some of the stuff that you start to figure out as you go with a new building, and how the light affects things in here. I was kind of worried about that, the sun and shading, but anyhow, different back door on there. I used to do all my work back here in this area, underneath a little canopy, sitting on a couch overlooking that end of the barn. There used to be a workbench right over here where the air conditioner is sitting. So we installed an air conditioner where the workbench used to be, and then the other half of the air conditioner sits in the lean-to, so it's dripping down into a gravel floor, so not a big deal, and keeps it kind of out of the elements for the most part. New workbenches. I'm going to build a workbench, or we already had the workbenches built. My Uncle Hans helped out with that. Very much appreciated Uncle Hans. My Uncle Hans helped out with a lot of stuff around here. So a big shout out to my Uncle Hans for coming over here from Canada. Came over here a couple times, and he was here once with his RV and was here for a few days or a few weeks, and then came back on his own in his car and stayed for another few days and helped out. So a lot of thanks to my Uncle Hans for helping out. But he built some tables to go around this corner, an 8-foot long table that goes right to the corner and then back out this way, L-shaped. So that is going to be the new workbench / filming area right back here for all our projects. Now along this wall, the south side wall, in between our ceiling right up here and the other opening on the opposite side, is roughly 17 and some odd feet. So we're going to have a series of shelves all the way down that wall that we can set all the RC cars on. So 3 to 4 shelves along this wall to load up with RC cars. And then once again, workbench over on this side. And we'll most likely be putting a TV on the wall over on this side. And some other shelves for holding DVDs and whatnot. Building a custom coat rack and the shelving system around this back wall, around the fire pit right here. Probably about the width of 3 6x6s, or 3 2x6s, 1, 2, 3, going straight to the wall and straight over with the shelf across the top of that. And then dowel rods, holes drilled into the 2x6s with dowel rods inserted into them for the coat racks and for hanging up gloves to dry, and a shelf above it for putting gloves and hats and other stuff on. And we might build another shelf along this upper edge up here. I have the flash off, so it's hard to see, but that main beam up here, which we can't really see very well, that is cedar. So I'm thinking about sanding that beam down with a palm sander, and just to accentuate it a little bit, and then possibly putting a shelf up above that right around the windowsill area. So yeah, project's taking us a lot of time. Our video here, we're 13 minutes in. Once again, concrete floor on the inside here. We had this poured. The guy that built our pole barn, the company that built our pole barn, made him come out and do the concrete floor in here as well. Exiting the back of the barn, big change back here. Original door came out to about this area here, and then went all the way over to right about here. Well, maybe right about here. Wide enough that we could get a snowmobile or four-wheelers through one side and out the other. So there we go. Looking at the barn, we had to do a bunch of work along the sides, sealing up things. The paneling on the sides was peeling up and away from it. Excuse me for stuttering here in between everything. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with the barn. I had to put about 1 million drywall screws every inch all the way along the bottom of here. The last couple inches of all these panels, all the way down the line. Just a series of drywall screws through there to keep that stuff pinned back down. Over the years, there's some rhubarb plants sitting here, and they get watered in the summertime, and the summertime sun coming up through there shines down on this wall, was drying out these boards from after being watered, and it was starting to peel upwards. So yeah, rhubarb plants have to get moved, or else it's going to be ruining that paneling. Alright, so there we go. There is a look at the old pole barn / new RC workshop / studio area. And we'll walk down the driveway here and take a peek at the new barn. I don't think it's been seen so much on camera, or at all on camera. I think the only time it's been seen on camera is during the Tamiya Terra Scorcher run, when I first brought that out. And we started out down here by this little trailhead, the new trail that we made goes along this ridge line and over to that pit on the other side of the road. So that was the last time anybody's seen the barn. So this is what it looks like on the outside. We'll take a quick peek on the inside. Alright, looking inside the barn. Please don't do inventory on any of the stuff that's sitting in here. None of the stuff belongs to me. Everything belongs to my parents for the most part, or my brother. So this is where we have all the RC cars stored at the moment under lock and key. Red Cat Gen 8 Jeep Comanche right down there with 313mm wheelbase, 110mm shocks all the way around. My TRX4 Bronco Iconic. My brother's TRX4 Bronco. Axial Wraith 1.9 RTR. Vatera K5 Blazer Ascender. These are the 2 new tables / workbenches that my uncle built right here. I helped him out a little bit, but he built them for the most part. I sanded them. Helped put some screws in here and there, but for the most part, my uncle built all these. And that runs straight over to the other side of the wall, right over to my Axial SCX24 on the other side. 8 foot long. And the other table's right over here, and that bolts up to the end of this to form an L. So 8 foot by 8 foot is our total length. Once again, we got pretty much all the vehicles sitting here. Well, not all of them, but the ones that are seen on the channel for the most part, or a lot of the times, or the majority of the times. Those cars that were out in the pole barn when we started construction, we moved them out here versus moving them in the house. Just because you can imagine this amount of stuff would take up a lot of space inside the house. So all the RC cars are out here. Brothers Traxxas Slash, Traxxas paddle tires, Emax down there, TRX6 down there, Nero, and TRX4 Sport, my TF2, another Traxxas Slash, my Team Low C10, SCTE 3.0, WL Toys 10428 A over there, all the excavators and construction equipment, whole medley of stuff. Elwell Right there in that Chewy box is my Volvo A60H, sitting right there. Still hasn't been built yet. Another project, putting new drive shafts on the TF2, that needs to be done. The original drive shafts that I've had on here for the last 6 years, some RC 4-wheel drive Super Punisher rebuildable shafts, are all worn out, and apparently there is no rebuild kit for those, no matter where you look. So I don't know why they say they're rebuildable, because you can't rebuild them. They don't sell a rebuild kit, so I had to buy some new drive shafts for it. Went cheap on that route. We'll see how that lasts. Nevertheless, TRX4 Sport Tracks sitting right there with a set of tires on there. Relatively new tires, Duratrax Deep Woods custom cut. On some Endura aluminum wheels. Good combination on that vehicle. And yeah, everything's pretty much sitting in here in storage. One brand new vehicle that nobody's seen as of yet, brand new vehicle, is the TRX4 Traxxas / Ultimate Edition, sitting right there, that green one. And that belongs to my niece. She did have, or previously had, that Traxxas / VXL. We put a low center of gravity chassis kit on it. Nothing wrong with the car, a great car. And we just gave a friend of mine a good deal on it. And my brother went out and got this Traxxas / Ultimate Edition for my niece. And it hasn't been ran yet. It is brand new. Not a speck of dust on it. And it's the first time it's been seen. So there we go. We got everything sitting out here. Another brand new item to the channel, John Deere tractor. This does not belong to me. This belongs to my brother. This is a John Deere 2022 3043D is the model number on this one. And he bought this one a few months ago. And we currently have right around 59 hours on it. I get a lot of use out of it. My brother's getting a lot of use out of it. Not my tractor, once again, so please don't be jealous of me. I don't own this. Brother has a good job. He works 5 days a week. Banks his money. And when you do things like that, you can afford to buy nice things like this. So he bought a brand new tractor. Not my tractor, once again, but it is a nice addition to the channel. This is going to help out a lot around the house, as well as out there with the adventure course and building a new short course track for the SC trucks. So another new member to the channel. All right, let's go grab the K10 Ascender and go get our tires snowy and have a little bit of fun. I just finished installing my 2S lithium polymer battery into my vehicle. That is one important thing that I forgot to mention. Whenever it comes to acclimating your vehicles, if you run a lithium polymer battery in your vehicle, take your battery out of your vehicle before you acclimate it. Keep the battery inside in room temperature, or keep it in your pocket where it's nice and warm. You want it to be around room temperature. Store it separately from the vehicle when you're acclimating your vehicle. And then when you get ready to run, bring your battery out to your vehicle and install the battery inside the vehicle, outside where the vehicle is currently sitting. That way you're not changing the temperature of anything. So just a little mental note there. Another little thing that I recently did to the Ascender that nobody has seen was replacing the stock Spectrum servo for a Savox SW0231MG. Sorry about the lighting. And this one was custom painted for my Tamiya Volvo A60H tipper truck. I was going to run a 4-wheel steering setup on it, but then I decided not to. And then the steering servo went out on this thing, the stock Spectrum servo, so it got repurposed for this project, or for this vehicle. And since it's already painted yellow, it kind of matches the truck a little bit. So brand new servo in the Ascender. Alright, pulling up to the podium. And deciding on which way to go. Should I go straight? Or should I go left? Well, straight's going to be a downhill run. Let's take it to the left a little bit. Well, last time I had the Ascender out, I had some servo issues. And the time before that, I was having some motor issues. I'm still running the stock motor, so it's in need of replacement. So I wouldn't doubt it if we have some intermittent motor cutout issues here. log pond here, a little frozen over at the moment. A new Savox SW0231 seems to be working out pretty good so far. A lot of torque out of that little servo. Relatively cost effective for a light vehicle such as this. Yeah, I love this little truck. Purchased this truck off of Facebook Marketplace, used, for right around $150 a few years ago. One of the best investments I ever made into an RC vehicle. It's been a great little truck. It's too bad that Ascender or Vitera went out of business, because they're still good trucks. Find a used Vitera Ascender online for sale, you can feel good about purchasing it. They're extremely tough vehicles and very capable for what they are. My camera might have frozen up there for a second. I apologize. Nothing's changed. We're still in the same spot. Trying to spin our tires up and over the stick here as we navigate the log pile. Off the log pile and into that one brick section, a little stepped brick rock combination area. This was an area that's slated to be removed and has been slated to get removed for the last year or so, maybe even 2 years now, possibly 3, and just haven't gotten around to it, especially this year being so busy. I always say that the track is always being built and expanded upon. Currently sitting on about a ½ acre of property. For those who don't know, it goes all the way up the hill, back up to that shed up there, and circles back around and back through those trees back there and on over. And on the other side of this hill over here, of course, as well. And we've got 10 acres to play with. We don't have a lot of property, but we have 10 acres. So we can expand this course in any direction that we want. Cruising around through the through the tombstone brick area here, which is washed in with sand and soil from rain erosion, as well as our current snow cover. So not very challenging in this area as far as obstacles go at the moment. Back tire is stuck on a brick face right over there. Tire spin going on. We made it without a problem. Moving into the next rock section. Sliding up the rocks a little bit over here. The wheel cut all the way to the right. And we made it through that section. Coming around to our storm damage section area over here. True storm damage where a tree fell across the course. Up on the face of a log right now. Rounded over edge. And we made it. Moving towards the tough tombstone section area and the tree stumps. Moving to the tree stumps right now. This is just a bunch of 18-inch long, 1.5 to 2 inch diameter sticks driven into the ground until it's just a little scale stump sticking back out. Left them long, that way they'd have a good anchor and wouldn't move around when you're driving through. So you weren't likely to rip them out of the ground with your tires. We made it through the stumps, heading towards the tombstones. Deadly area. The tombstones. Bad news here. No matter how you look at it, this is not a good area to go through, especially with straight axles. This is a portal axle area for sure. You can make it through with straight axles, but in these cold temperatures, and the extreme angles in between all these opposing bricks, it can be very tough on your vehicle. One wrong move and you may snap an axle. And we made it. Coming into our first off-camber brick hill here. Bricks on the right side are sitting on a different level than the bricks on the left. So it takes your vehicle in different directions. Get off the path. I don't expect to be able to crawl up this. Might have to use a little bit of throttle persuasion to get up this hill. Now we're half on and half off the trail. And we made it. Rolling down the back edge and heading to the next brick off-camber section. The super steep brick hill. And this one's going to be tough. We might not be able to make this. Might be better off just filming it from right back here. Everybody else has seen what this hill looks like in the past from different angles. It's extremely steep. Very deceiving. Rolling brick hill. One rolling section going into another. And I don't think we're going to be able to make it. You got to keep in mind when it's cold out, super cold like it is today, very easy to break plastic axles and stuff like that, so be gentle on your vehicles. Know when to say when it comes to applying the throttle. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them when it comes to letting off the gas. We're getting closer. Rocking the transmission. Oh! Rollover. You got a rollover in the books. Readjust my thumb here. I'm wearing a pair of gloves using the controller. Transmitters. The struggle is real. Come on, baby, get on up it. Sorry about the camera. Well, we made our way over to the other trail. Not necessarily the direction I want to go. Oh, another rollover. I don't think we're going to be able to get out of this one. I don't know. Nope, not going to happen, I don't think. Nope. Hand to God. Little mirror adjustment. I've got one tire off the wall and the other tire on. So my driver's side tire is trying to climb up a straight up board in between the bricks. It's not happening. Yeah, we made it up over the straight up section. We've been here before. We've been there before too. We've been there before too. Rollover number 3 in the books. We made it up that little section again. This is a tough one right here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get this or not. A little too slick and a little too steep. And some weird angles that take your truck in a different direction. Oh, there we go. Unbelievable. We just made it. Nice. Nice. Continuing along. I am hitting throttle settings and steering trim settings here as I drive. Oh, this is going to be tough. Rumble strips. Not a good idea in the snow. This is an axle snagger in the making. Oh yeah. And we made it. Got into the over-under log bridge. Making our way out the other side. Always trying to take the most challenging route possible. I love challenging myself and my vehicles. And it makes things a lot more interesting on film, that's for sure. Excuse our floppy mirror over there. Let's call that trail damage since we rolled it 3 times already. Tires are trying to get traction. Traction is just not there. Coming up on the log bridge. Might not be able to negotiate this one either. Big gaps between the boards, everything's snow covered, everything's rounded over. A tree branch in the way. Can't crawl around that guy. That's going to put us in a hole over here on this side. Let's see if we can torque ourselves over with the steering servo. Might have to use a little bit of wheel speed to get past that. And that earned us a 4th rollover. Rollovers happen in the crawling world, that's for sure. Don't see it a lot on film. A lot of people don't show that stuff. That's what editing is for. No winch on this vehicle, so it's a make it or break it kind of situation. Hopefully we don't break it. Getting close to the other side of the bridge there, the edge. Truck's sliding off the bridge and I'm sliding as well. Sliding down to my butt. .9 Canyon Trails. Some of these gaps are, you kind of need 2.2 for. We're right up into that stick right now. I'm not going to avoid it, I'm just going to try to blast my way right through it. Because it is in the sweet spot. Ah. We're not getting out of that one, we are right upside down. Rollover number 5 in the books, and we are going to get the stick out of there. Let's give it another shot. Rear's all bent out of whack over there. edge on the other side again. Wheelbase, that's another little factor here, getting stuck between these logs. Whatever wheelbase you have on your vehicle. I believe this one is 287 millimeters. 313 is a good combination out here, 313 millimeters. 324 works well. 324 can get a bit long for going around some of the stuff. 313 is a happy medium. Come on, baby, get on up there. We're almost there. Oh, we're getting some weird angles going on. Torque twisting it. Ah, there we go. We made it. Alright, so let's make things a little bit more interesting and cut up to the right here. Up another steep angle. Fall into another hole. And we're through. Bridges like this can be impossible with an item like a Kyosho Blizzard or a vehicle like a Kyosho Blizzard. Those hard plastic tracks, you get up on these logs and they just don't go anywhere. And they don't do so well in the rocks either when they have a light coating of snow on them, such as this, that hard frozen surface. Plastic tracks, not much traction. Kyosho Blizzards are unstoppable in deep powder and stuff like that, but when it comes to crawling through stuff like this with a little bit of snow on it, the TRX4 Broncos or Blazers or just TRX4s in general with the deep lug paddle tracks are far superior to anything else. Alright, so we made it down the hill and we're going to work our way around the other side. This next little tree root area here is a pretty tough little climb. Chassis snagger. Stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Getting past the collapsed log cabin. We're jumping off of the roof of that last season with the Kyosho Blizzard and Trail King. Heading up into Old Stump. Windy little passageway here. stuck in my front wheel there. Here, making some noise. Make our way around Old Stump. Nothing too challenging with this hill. It's a frozen sand hill going up this side. But it's still creating a bit of a challenge. But we made it with no problem. Try the inverted tree root. Inverted tree root. And that's a steep one. Going right up to the bottom of that bumper, which is lifted and tucked. The bumper is lifted up higher than a stock ascender bumper, and it's tucked in closer to the frame for maximum approach angles. We're getting pretty darn steep there. Oh boy. Seen a lot of vehicles roll over in this area, a lot of ascenders, Broncos, and such, and we are right there. One tapping on the throttle and we're going backwards. Yep, there we are. See if we can navigate around this edge here. Oh, we got it. Thanks to that new Savox SW0231MG, we're able to torque our way right up and over that using the steering servo. Rolling down the backside, nothing to see here, especially this time of the year. Heading over towards the Rock Bridge. They go over under Boulder Bridge. At this point in time, we are a good 25-30 minutes in, and my fingers are frozen. Frozen. Big drop on the other side here, going into the over-under log bridge. And out the other side. No problem on that hill. This log crossing is probably going to be difficult. As I've said many times before, the logs on the approach are on a slight angle, pitching down towards us, and the main log up at the top is also pitching in this direction. There's one easy, specific way to get up this. Kind of a cheater path if you know which way to go. But this time of the year, with everything being frozen and covered in snow, it can be a little bit difficult. Wants to get pulled downhill. Day like today, my Trail Finder 2 would be a little bit better at this, just because it's a little bit heavier. We are fighting the curve. Fighting the curve. So close. Oh, don't go that way. Yeah, we're back down the bottom again. Looks easy, don't it? Not so easy. Yeah, we might have to just go gung-ho here. Yeah, not fast enough. Not a rock bouncer. Well, I don't like giving up, and my fingers are just about frozen. And we're only about halfway around the course. Yeah, we almost had this once before, and then we lost it. Come on, baby, get some traction. Use a little push. Gravity. Come on, baby, get on up there. Slow roll. No recovery. Come on, baby, get out up there. This is the most trouble I've ever had on this section in my life. Gee whiz. Alright, well, we're not making it up that. Just too darn slick. Hand to God. That's something that you'll rarely see me do. Hand to God to the top of the log. Heading into the Prometheus corner here. Just getting all worn down and eroded. The head there looks like it's wearing a turtleneck. All the dirt piled up around it that's been eroded from rain. That's a nice little trail that we're about to head into. Douglas firs or blue spruces are all weighed down with snow over top the course. We're trying to squeeze through them. Thank God for taillights. And we made it. Look for our next storm damage section. We're climbing up some trees that are leaning back towards us. There's these logs that are planted in the ground. So that can be pretty darn slick as well. And we made it up without a problem. Excuse my shadow. This area can be extremely tough as well. Suspension tweaker through here. No rhyme or reason with any of these logs. They're all sitting at opposing angles, and just like the brick tombstone section. And we made it through. Heading back down the rocky road. We've got the log bridge or the brick bridge up ahead. We can take either one. The log bridge over on this side, right there, and our rock bridge. I said brick bridge, but our rock bridge. Let's try that log bridge. That's going to be a little bit more difficult to negotiate with tires, especially when everything's snow covered. Making our approach. Getting a little close to one side here. Now we are really leaning to the one side. And then that happened. Just broke my bumper. Well, we just rolled it off the log there, camera locked up for a split second, and we also managed to rip off that front bumper. Ripped it right off the truck when it landed. Cold temperatures on plastic can be very damaging. You hear the trees popping out here, so you know it's cold. That bumper's just hanging on by a thread. And we made it. Bumper, however, not so lucky. Not so lucky on the bumper, boys and girls. That needs to be reattached. So we'll try to gingerly take it around the rest of the course and see if we can finish this run up. And then repair that here afterwards. Trail damage, man. Oh, man, my lights, my bumper. Well, we might have to end our video right here. Man, it's a terrible ending, but I don't want to ruin my wires going to my lights here. If I had a Phillips screwdriver or a Allen wrench, I could fix this right now, but we don't. So we're going to have to pause it, I think. Do a little repair. Or just try to carefully finish this out. And we're here, the room's paid for, so we might as well finish. Just noticed that my transmitter batteries are getting a little low too, 4.4 volts. Bumper is just resting on top of the chassis there. Lights still work. It's a good sign. But tire chatter going up the hill, we made it. There's several different ways that we can go around this adventure course. Forward, backwards, left, right. There's actually two courses here that are sitting side by side for the new people. Two separate adventure courses. And then one day I got the crazy idea to link the two courses together and make it into just one big gigantic super course. And you can go forward or backward around it, or pick custom routes, crisscross them back and forth across the two of them. So there's many different ways you can go around this adventure course. We're going around a very basic direction at the moment. And we're currently heading out of here. Just because of our bumper issues. So we're just finishing out the run for the most part, and we're going to call it good. And on out to the podium we go. Maybe. Oh, climbing over a bumper again. Alrighty, boys and girls, that is going to do it on this run. One quick snow run in the books. Slightly damaged vehicle in the process. Limping off the course here, dragging our bumper all the way. Hope everybody enjoyed the video. And hope everybody enjoyed the quick peek at the new RC workshop / studio. And hopefully we can get that project finished ASAP and get everything moved back in there and get our channel back up to full speed again. So that's going to do it on this video, boys and girls. Very much appreciated for y'all sticking around and watching the video, as always. Very much appreciated. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks again.